Good evening and welcome to another episode of Super Deluxe Gamescast. It's Thursday, October 12th. We are halfway through the month, less than 1 month out from Star Ocean 2 remake. It's essentially a remake.
Yeah, that's the biggest game coming in the next 30 days for sure.
For me, it is.
What is?
Me, it is.
Star Ocean 2 remake?
I'm more excited about Star Ocean 2 than I am Spider-Man.
Well, that's because you're a fool.
I'll go ahead and say
but
it.
we won't hold that against you for being a foolish fool.
I'll just beat the shit
Okay,
out of you
fucking
next week when I see you.
Franziska von Karma.
Star Ocean 2 is up there. Definitely a top 3 game of the rest of the year. But it's no Spider-Man 2.
You haven't even played Spider-Man 2.
You're right. That's how much I know.
This is a show.
You know what? It'll be a Super Mario Wonder if it's even the top 3 games.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
Derek, this new facial hair thing you got going on is quite dashing, actually.
It's done so that in about this is actually a perfect segue, because in just over a week we will all be together at John's place doing our annual big charity event. And for every $100 you donate, I will get Derek one step closer to a Hitler stash for the rest of the show. No.
It's already out there. It's out there.
I don't agree with that. But this is shaved in such a way that another week's worth of growth will be exactly where I want it to be. At the rate that I grow for the charity event. Because you cannot stop a gay from facial manscaping. So
see, I am letting mine fully grow out because for Halloween I'm going to be Elsa with a glitter beard.
Yeah.
So I gotta let it get some more growth. That's
excellent. That's good. Is your daughter going to be Anna? Yeah.
You'd think so. No, she's going to be Ghost Spider from Spider-Man because that's what she wanted. But she said Daddy has to be Elsa. Yes. And you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm Elsa.
Your wife can be the Joker, and the three of you can be a children's YouTube video.
Green Goblin.
She's Green Goblin.
I'm sorry, Gobby, because that's what they call him in the show. Because Disney Plus has a Spider-Man show for 3-year-olds, and it's like her favorite thing. It's phenomenal.
Oh, that's sweet.
All the bad guys, instead of doing crimes, they pull pranks. So
they pull pranks.
They're just YouTubers.
Like 1960s Adam West Batman.
More or less, yeah. Anyway, we also have an amazing guest.
Yeah.
Let's jump right over to my buddy, my bestie, Eric, who is probably my one of my top 2 people on this podcast today.
Wow. Moving on up.
So Eric is and also one of my favorite things in gaming is when you stumble across some phenomenal indie game and you find out it's being done by a one-man dev team, just a one-person dev team. Just always, there's just something about that narrative that just makes you want to root for it even more. So we brought Eric on because he was, him and his game Lucid were a recipient of a Saki Award at PAX West this year. And so we were chatting, we became buddies, and I was like, you should come on the show because you just launched your Kickstarter for your game, because the game was so good, I thought it was almost out, and joke's on me, it was only in the trial phase. So it is a game, the last thing I'll do to hype it up before I kick it over to you is it's a game that has coined my new favorite portmanteau. What's that? Is it portmanteau when you mash up 2 words?
Portmanteau, you fucking illiterate barbarian.
What? Oh, rich coming from you. Taking the Metroidvania.
You can't even you don't even know the fucking words you're trying to use.
Which word?
Portmanteau.
Yeah, portmanteau. As I said the whole time.
Is the T not a harder? Is it not like a harder T sound? Because I'm getting like a D off of you.
Yeah, I don't think John knows what he's talking about, which makes it even funnier that he's so angry about it.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Anyway, that thing where you mash up 2 words, I'm going to call it a mashup.
Isn't it 3 words now at this point, or is it 2 words?
No, you drop the Metroid and they added a Celeste. So it's a Celestvania because it combines the map upgrade system of a Metroidvania with the traversal mechanics of Celeste.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that's a pretty gosh darn dope, if I do say so myself.
I think it's pretty neat.
And the demo was just freaking addictive. I don't even know at what percentage of the game you're done, but it felt complete. So it says a lot about you. So take it away, Eric. Tell us about Lucid. And
tell me about Lucid. I want to hear about this.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you for that wonderful intro.
What I do.
Yeah. I've been calling it. I like Celestvania would have probably been easier. I've sillily been calling it Celestoidvania, and it's been getting it's either this is the funniest and greatest thing ever, or that's dumb and you're dumb and you should feel bad for ever coming up with that word. There's no in between.
I can tell you that coming up with something really dumb is actually the greatest thing you can do, and don't let the haters named John tell you otherwise.
Yeah,
it is a form of art on a technical basis.
So yeah, it's basically a quick way of getting across the idea that it is a Metroidvania with the mobility options of, say, a Celeste, where if you strike an strikeable object, you refresh your jumps and your aerial resources, and you can maintain your aerial acrobatic maneuvering without touching the ground as long as you can continuously hit something in the air. And then that goes for combat and also traversal and marrying the two, making puzzles and enemies all around. This idea is just something I've been running with, and then you get Lucid.
Yay!
I was gonna say, watching the trailer for it, I got a lot of like not just Celeste, but also a lot of like the Messenger, right? And in terms of like, I'm trying to think of any other games that I can think of like that utilize mobility in that way that you're trying to like use some form of action to hit like point to point to point in such a manual way to traverse. Hollow Knight to some degree does that.
Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of like, you're a little bit late to the party.
No,
XYZ was the first one. I'm like, you shut the fuck up, first of all.
If you want to be real, like, and if you're an artist of any kind, you understand that like all art is taking inspiration from you know, other things, you know, directly or indirectly, you know. But also, like, there's not that many games that do things like that. The fact that I had to sit here and struggle to think Celeste, The Messenger, Hollow Knight, and that's the end of my list, right?
Yeah, I think there's one called like Acterna Noctis or something. I keep seeing that in the comments. I'm like, never played it, so I'll have to take your word.
It's relatively new,
but it looks, you know, the actual like movement looks so fast, so fluid, so like as
one of the few that have gotten hands on, I can say it controls and plays way better than even it looks. It just felt
you got me.
So good.
You got me. So
that's
one of those trailers that makes me wish I was at PAX to play the demo for sure.
I also want to do one shout out to once again solidify how good Lucid is so far. Is that a friend of the show, 61 Indie themselves were the ones that brought me over to play it. They were like, "Yo, if you need to play one game at this event, go check this one out." And so I did, and it was dope. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah, 61 Indie, love them.
Apparently, there's some shit going down.
There's always. We're lucky that Nintendo didn't drop a Nintendo Switch Online update. They do it to us almost every Thursday.
Hey, dude, it's not even 9:30 yet. So,
yeah, there's some going down.
There's some shit popping off.
There's just a bunch of
some news going down.
Is it bad news?
Looks like GTA 6 got rated.
News.
GTA 6 got rated in Australia. And it looks like Activision stock has been halted.
Well, that'll be a fun one to see what's going on with that. But with a lack of explanation, I don't have much.
I assume it's halted because of the merger, and soon.
That's what I would say too. It's, if the merger is about to close, I would say that's probably why.
I don't make enough money at any job to be good at speculating about financial bullshit. So,
look, I'm not like fucking, Jordan Belfort over here or anything. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I would assume that the Activision stocks have been halted because that business deal is about to close. Also, I just want to point out, I use Jordan Belfort because he's the only stockbroker person I've ever heard of, and I'm actually nothing like Jordan Belfort at all. So I just want to.
Yeah, definitely. Bats in the Belfort. Am I right?
Yeah,
I want
him
to.
and Bradley Cooper from Limitless. That's the only people I know.
Yeah, pretty much. No, this is wild. Okay, so okay, so GTA 6, all this is a rating. So who gives a shit about
Oh, someone in chat said this David Wise trailer is rad. Someone, why don't you tell us about how you partnered up with David Wise?
Wow, I didn't realize we were live.
Oh, we've been live, fam. Hell yeah.
We've been live.
I thought this,
Surprise! No, that's just the nature of the show. We're just laid back.
I told you it's a pretty laid back energy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is gonna be recorded. It's fine. That's awesome.
No.
But yeah, good looks on chat. David Wise is like a fucking a hero from childhood forever. So to be working with him is still surreal. It's wild. But yeah, that was just one of those, like, I was speaking out loud because I was telling all my friends, like, David Wise, Donkey Kong Country, the ambience, that's like a big influence on this soundtrack. I'd say that all the time. And then I just said it out loud enough. Someone's like, I know a guy who knows a guy who might be able to get him involved. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, but it's probably not going to happen. I'm like, just ask, please. And they're like, okay. And then a few weeks go by and all of a sudden like, yeah, he's down. I'm like, oh, shit, sweet, awesome, let's do it. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. So I want to go back to so before I talk to you more about the development of this, it's very rare for us to have a developer on while they're like neck deep in the Kickstarter just aspect of their development. How did you go about choosing Kickstarter as your platform? How has it been using Kickstarter as a platform? Like, I've never been able to ask this, like, how did you come to the number that you need for the Kickstarter? Like, what went into planning this, and how have you felt seeing it? Because you're currently sitting at over 200% of your total.
Which does not mean that people should stop giving money.
Oh, agreed. Of course, because now there's just a bunch of dope stretch goals. But like, I've always been curious, like, how did you arrive at your initial need, and what made you go Kickstarter to begin with?
Cool. So I'm gonna be completely candid, and there's some insider baseball here. If anyone's doing a Kickstarter, there's actually this little thing called you lowball what you actually need. Like, what you put up there is not the real number. That's not it at all. What you want to do is you want to get funded within 2 to 3 days and hit that number. So then all of a sudden you're in the algorithm has been funded. You get pushed up in the Kickstarter algorithm, and you got ta-da, you're getting free advertisement. But the rub is that's not the real number, which sucks. But hooray, we got there. Yay! But like you said, please keep helping. There is so much more I would like to do. So we have a ways to go and 5 days left to do it. So please, 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 if you like indie games with a lot of love, please donate and back Lucid.
It's interesting.
What if just the downtrodden nature of life in general over the years has just hardened my heart, and I simply have no love left to give or experience?
Oh.
What if I just can't feel anything anymore?
Oh, this is good. You give as much money as you possibly can until you can't, and then that way you can go into the comic section. You can just troll and be a dick in the comments all you want. Just be malicious and mean and
he does that already.
Dev.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah, tell me the jump height's wrong. You're moving too fast. The camera's too jittery. And then
this is not turn-based. Like, like, what the fuck are we even doing here?
Yeah, why would you call this a Celestoidvania? You mong, like, why would you do this, you muppet? And then just
why is this not a turn-based RPG?
Why does this feel like why does this feel like you're speaking from experience?
Yeah, I was gonna say we're getting real specific here.
Yeah,
why is this not Final Fantasy VI? Why?
Yeah, why is it another pixel art game? Why is it not 3D? Why?
No, actually, no. I want pixel art. Pixel art is what I want.
Oh, well,
I want pixel art.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, then
I don't want none of that 3D bullshit.
But my question is, why don't you have good pixel art, Eric?
Yeah.
Look at this. I mean, look at this display behind me. Of course, I love.
Why aren't you making this game in Unreal?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey,
Why isn't it a
so
Final Fantasy game?
we got another question in chat for you, Eric.
Yeah.
I know you're still making the game, but if you had to get, what's your estimated like single playthrough for an average person? Like, I know you've also optimized the game for speedrunners because you're a huge games done quick fan, which I think is cool. But they're like, are you looking at 7-10 hours? Like, what they're asking, what are we expecting for a playthrough of this game?
Totally. So at this, it's a complete guesstimate, but I'm aiming for. I would like to have a campaign on par in the length of, say, like a Hollow Knight. So 35 to 40, 45 hours, something around there.
Damn, son.
That's a lot of hours.
It's meaty. Even the demo, you could.
The demo, your
attest.
demo was beefy. I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
And also, I need you to isolate your save animation as a GIF and send it to me because it is one of the coolest things. Like the animation you get when you come across a save spot is way too cool. Like it made me stop and be like, that was fucking cool. I took my headphones off and turned and was like, that was
You
really
did.
fucking cool. Like
I should just put like a line of save, but yeah. I can absolutely do
you
that.
should actually, can you put me in your accolades trailer? Wow, that save animation was really cool. Finn, official SDGC.
Sure, yeah, on release. Yeah, that'll be on like IGN.com or some shit.
It's interesting to try to even like parse out what length might look like too, though, because in a game that's got
actually, you can just use a ruler. If you start from the base
in a game that has any focus on like exploration, you know, I mean, I've seen people tear through, you know, Metroidvanias in half the time I did, and then I've seen people take twice as long, you know, for their first playthrough. And of course, games that have taken me 15 hours to play through once, you know, the second time through might take me, you know, 5. So it's kind of, I'm almost curious, like how do you even try to evaluate length?
That's why I've gotten this question a few times, and it's just impossible to really answer. I know I'm giving my guesstimate on an average player, but like for example, there was a cool guy playing the demo at PAX, and he was playing for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, having fun, and then he got stuck somewhere. He soft locked somewhere because, you know, I didn't make the game good enough yet. And like I'll reset it, don't worry. He's like, oh man, I got so far, and then I boot it back up and like, I'll get you there. And then like 2 minutes, or not even less, like under a minute, I get to where he was, and all his friends were just giving him so much shit. So like it'll take someone 20 minutes to get somewhere, but then a person who knows how the game works, has played it a billion times, can get there really, really quick because of the speedrunning aspect. So it's going to be this giant spectrum of skill ceiling, and that's not to say any skill level can play. There's a lot of design elements in there to accommodate all skill levels, but then if you know what you're doing, you can really like bend the game over your knee and just tell it what to do.
Well, especially something that's that focused on like high level mobility, right? Like when execution is, I mean, you know, thinking of like Celeste, right? You know, since Celeste is a game that you pull a lot of direct inspiration from, Celeste is a game that some people can tear through just naturally, and some people just don't have it, you know? It's and that's going to make a huge impact. So yeah, it's kind of, it sounds like it's very gut feeling, more than you would like it to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's also like a part of the Mega Man X inspiration is
Ooh, you got my attention.
Oh, bro, Mega Man, it's all over the place. So we can get into that if you'd like, but one of the small aspects is there's no boss selection screen, but in this Dark Soulsy fashion, you can go in any direction you'd like, and there'll be like difficulty checks with like, oh, this guy kills you in 2 hits, maybe don't go this way. So you can go and tackle any boss in any order you like, and there's this rock paper scissor element ish to the abilities you get in their dungeons that work better at different bosses. So there's a lot of different DNA from really classic games that I love, and in not obvious ways, then that's kind of one of them.
I see too, you know, talking about this being very created with some consideration for like speedrunners, but also I see maybe like some consideration for the challenge runner types who want to go in and sequence break and do things intentionally out of order.
Oh yeah.
So
Big time.
Oh,
I've discovered some like I don't know like tiny window frame input stuff that's like I could fix this or I've used it to like sequence break my own stuff. So I leave in tiny little things because I'm like someone's gonna be able to have fun with this, so why not keep it in?
So we have a couple more questions in chat for you. Actually, pretty good ones because it's really when you bring up Celeste as an inspiration. Obviously, you're going to think the art style and the movement, but another big thing Celeste is a champion of is accessibility options, and so they've asked, what kind of accessibility options are you looking to include into your game? So that is my question for you from Dorian Gamer in chat.
Oh yeah, great. Well, there's the classic. A lot of it's built in. I wonder if are they asking like in menu, like menu accessibility options?
I would
why
assume.
don't we just hit up all the different options?
Yeah. Go over the whole fucking thing.
Do it all. So when it comes to accessibility, that's such an interesting. When it comes into in-game, allowing for as many people to enjoy the entirety of the game depending on their skill level was pretty important, but I am so not a fan of easy medium hard mode. I think that's the laziest fucking thing in the world. So
good, that's refreshing to hear.
yeah, it's such like a I could go on and get really aggro about it because it really pisses me off. But I've designed the game and so that there are in-game methods that are unofficial ways of like this is how you play on easy, this is how you play medium, and this is hard. But it's in-world diegetic items or people you talk to or things you turn on or off. For example, they're like there's some equipments and bracers and talismans, which are essentially the what's it the badge system in Hollow Knight where you can like slot in charm. It was the charm system, and so there are some charms that are pretty obviously like no damage when touching XYZ or like don't start at the beginning of the level, like really game changing talismans, where others are more like your attack now explodes when it hits the wall. So there are equipment that are kind of like accessibility options. As when it comes to like physicality stuff, um, I'm very much looking forward to the alpha demo build post the Kickstarter campaign because that's going to be a huge amount of information that will tell me what people need and or want.
Yeah.
I would hate as a solo. I have only this many hands.
Yeah.
So I can only do so much. So I need to know what people think is the most important. I would hate to pour in a bunch of time to something. They're like, colorblind mode is great, but like I really wish you did XYZ and like 200 people wanted that versus one. I really have to do a lot of research when it comes to that.
I think it can be difficult, especially, if you're somebody who isn't disabled, right? And you're trying to work in because friend of the show Grant Stoner, who writes a lot on the subject of accessibility especially, will say like you're never going to have a perfectly accessible game. There's always going to be like what were the developers like, how is the game design itself accessible or not, how what things did the developers choose to focus on. Like you're just never going to find the thing that is perfect. It is capital A accessible, all people can reach it, right? So it's just what you can put your resources and knowledge into. And I think it is difficult when you're a one-man team, doing...
Yeah, I was like, I got to finish the game.
Doing first. What you can to try to figure out how to make it work for people who don't have your experiences compared to like, I think we do have a much higher standard for when, like Sony Santa Monica puts out a game that like, hey man, y'all can have done a lot more expensive research into this subject. So
yeah, that fancy loot box animation, all those hours could have been put somewhere else.
Yeah.
Trust me. Yeah. 100. Yeah. So accessibility is absolutely something on my mind, but I need input from the community to like know where to put my time in.
Yeah. I just threw another link to the Kickstarter in there because it had been a while since we threw it in, and people should go and give a couple of bucks.
Please do check it out. I did. I really tried my best to make the Kickstarter like the progress, the way you scroll down. It was how I would imagine I would want the Lucid pamphlet, like riding home in the back of the car.
Yes.
Like, using like highway lights to read the fucking manual. Like that's I really tried to make it feel like an old that waxy paper smell manual, you know.
Oh man, on a brand new manual out of the box.
Just a high shout out to your use of the phrase "smoothment." Because the movement is so smooth.
Yeah, it's movement.
I love it.
You're the first person to call that out. I was setting up the Kickstarter pretty late one night, and I was just like out of gas. I'm like, how do I fuck it? Schmovement.
Yeah, schmovement.
Good. Look,
schmovement
I'm all big about. It's just like Celestovania, you know. I love the portmanteaus.
Good schmovement in a game.
Yeah, portmanteau.
Finn, you might have heard me talk about in like our Armored Core review that like the schmovement in that game is like the thing that connected me to it more than anything else, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, yeah, good schmovement is everything.
So, you know, I realize we've been talking so much about the game and the Kickstarter and everything about it. You actually haven't told us what the game's about. Why don't you give us the elevator pitch about what Lucid is and how long you've actually been working on it so far?
Okay. I'm gonna invert. So I have an architectural background. I went to school to be an architect. I was an architect for like 10 plus years. And if you'll talk to anybody in the field, it is soul crushing and soul stealing, and it is the worst. And on top of that, I was in high end residential in New York City. So there's a special ilk of people that reside in that.
Is it a little radicalizing? Like.
Bro, I was once making a bathroom that cost twice as much as my entire college tuition, and I was just like, "What the fuck am I doing?" And then there was like a dog bath station. I was like, "I need to get out of this." But so I've been working. So Lucid started as just this kind of bedroom hobby that I would do after work for years, just this little thing, and it like evolved strangely and then stopped, and now we're here, which is totally different. So it's been going on since like 2013 in some form or another.
Damn.
This version I would say more like 2.5.
Why are you so lazy? Why isn't it out yet then? Come on.
I was originally in Game Maker, and then I was like, I came back in 2020 and I rebuilt it in Unity. I built it in Unity.
Did you have a bit of a heart attack a few weeks ago?
Is building it Unity bad? I don't know much about the engine.
John, do you not remember what we were just talking about a couple weeks ago? With the TOS
update? Unity decided to set itself on fucking fire.
Yeah, that whole fucking thing.
Yeah, and then I got a bunch of comments of like, "Why are you making it in Unity?" I'm like, I can't stop making it in Unity. It's anyway.
Yeah, you can't hit the transfer to fucking Unreal button.
Dude, I have a buddy who's like an excellent programmer, and I was like, "Hey man, I was just in a panic. I'm like, what would it take to like go to Godot or something?" He's like, "You don't want to. You're not gonna. It's not a thing. I'm sorry." And I'm like, so yeah, it's been going on for a while, but this iteration about 2.5, 3 years. It's like a completely different game from what it was. And then to your first part of the question, what is Lucid? Oh my God, this one I don't like this question because it's so. I am bad at elevator pitches. I ramble, and it's a big fucking story, and there's a lot of shit going on. But the basic idea is you are Owen. You're a young sentinel, which is essentially a crystal magic wielding Jedi. You are given a task after an inciting incident to collect the shards of the lucid giant's heart, trying to bring them back together and hopefully resurrect this lucid giant, which will bring balance back to the celestial realm, because he died due to a thing where a dragon attacked, and there's all this history, and I'm a big Dark Souls fan, so there's a huge world of lore that's there for people that want it. You don't need to if you don't want to, but it's there, and it's really thought out, and there's characters and stories and interconnected people. So and no one's a there's no mustache twirling villains. Everyone's got grace. It's a spectrum of gray, no black and white. Gotta see with lucid eyes and eyes unclouded by hate and shit. So yeah, it's a big story with big themes, and that's like the as best of an elevator pitch I can do.
That was a very long elevator. I respect
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
You
I'm really bad
described
at
Like one of
elevator
those it's like that Mass Effect elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The load times were absurd.
Shepard. You described the
Way to go,
game
Noel.
as crystal punk aesthetic, and like I don't think I've ever heard the phrase crystal punk, but immediately I understood what you were going for, and then I watched the trailer and I was like, oh yeah, this is the good shit right here. love some good flashy pixel art crystal bullshit. Like
Yeah, dude.
unironically, let's fucking go, man.
Yes.
I really want to get to that boss rush mode. Ugh.
I know.
If people
I
kick a few more
know.
bucks in.
So,
You know.
Eric,
Yeah.
what platforms is this aiming for? Is this Is this PC first, consoles when you get around to it, or are you
Pretty much. It's PC first. That's almost certain it'll be PC first, but then shortly followed by porting to major consoles. So they are definitely happening. But
Now, I did notice one thing most recently is because I get the PR emails is you signed on with Stride PR because I started getting emails talking about your game, and I was like, oh, neat. So
Weird.
how did that happen? Did you approach them to be your PR? Or did they approach you saying, yo, your game looks dope, we want to represent you?
I don't know. They're tied to the publisher.
Okay.
I know them through the publisher. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that's okay to say. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't.
was that a secret?
I don't think so. I
don't
don't
think
know.
so. If they're putting out press releases, I assume it's supposed to be a known quantity.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, no. They're I guess they provide or they work with the publisher, and they were kind of like I don't know. They were there, and they've been doing.
Oh yeah, because you're
great.
being published by Apogee.
Yeah.
Neat.
Apogee.
What?
Apogee.
There's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I
Wow.
know.
They're back, by the way. They've been
That
doing a
rules.
bunch of games.
I've got such fondness for a lot of classic Apogee games, man.
Cool.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh.
Yeah, they're helping Lucid come along, putting some muscle behind it.
That's pretty cool.
That rules.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else? Like, so what about you as a gamer? Like, what is your background? Hit us up with some of your favorite games. I know what your inspirations for Lucid are, but do those also encompass your personal favorites, or are there some games you love that aren't coming into play at all?
Yeah, it's kind of all the inspirations for Lucid are kind of all my favorite games. So the lists have like a giant Venn diagram, but to like more percentage than others. But yeah, my cup of tea. I noticed it recently that I come with a little bit of a musical background as well. I like to play guitar, my fair garage bands and shit, and I'm a sucker for like progressive post-hardcore, like really intricate stuff like the Fall of Troy, Chong, Dance Gavin Dance. So I like playing intricate little fucking tasty licks, and just sitting there as a teenager or in college and just playing it over and faster and getting it just right felt really good, and it's something I like to do. I realize now it's the same way I like to play my video games. I like challenging video games, and I like I need to do it right, and the more I do it, the better I get. That's my fucking jam. So like Dark Souls, the FromSoft catalog, that's awesome. I like Celeste. I like Hades. I really like Doom 2016. Less challenging stuff, Super Metroid, A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time are classics. Mischief Makers, Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Like I
Oh,
fucking love that game. It's one of my favorite 64 games. What else is there? Oh, Mario RPG, Paper Mario. I love tactics games. I fucking love Final Fantasy Tactics, especially the Game Boy
Yeah.
Good
Advance one.
man. Good man.
Oh
Good
no,
man.
you lost me. No. The worst
I'm
Uh,
still
one.
there. I'm still there.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, what Advance Wars, War Groove, all that kind of
Nice.
stuff. So yeah, I like a lot of different kind. Oh, Sekiro is probably this is where I lose a lot of people. Sekiro is maybe my favorite FromSoft game, but I love them all so much. Like it's Sekiro and Bloodborne. They're like right.
Yeah.
It's like ask me on the day. But yeah, I
That
I like
that
games where
Bloodborne 60 frames per second patch is coming any day now. I'm telling you.
yeah, sure
It's happening.
is.
It's
Totally.
happening
Yeah.
on
Bloodborne
PS5.
PC port. It's definitely going to be real, folks.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
promise.
Yeah, it's gonna get packaged in the Armor Core update.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did we want to move on to what we've been playing?
Yeah, I feel
Sure.
like that's kind of a good and we can start with
Yeah.
Eric, because you talked about what some of your favorites are. What have you been playing recently, the last couple weeks or so?
Yeah,
Us
so,
in between mashing the F5 button on your Kickstarter
yeah,
screen.
refresh. Even on my phone, refresh. It's gotten really bad. What I've been playing is, fuck, guys. In my Discord, I was like, we're gonna play on the road to the final Kickstarter day, Lucid Inspiration. So I've been playing Donkey Kong Country. I played Donkey Kong Country, the OG one again, and it still holds up. I can't
Mhm.
believe it's been 30 years, 30 plus years,
Oh, don't say
about 30
that.
years. I know.
Oh,
Uh, it,
that
it
hurts.
might it might be just under 30, but it's been a long time, but it still holds up. Then I also played Mega Man X, which I think is 30 years. That's one. Okay, I love Mega Man X. It's amazing, but I played it and like I remembered it being smoother. Like something, it's like maybe I just got too used to Lucid, but it was a little bit chunky on my hands.
Maybe I got so used to the amazingness I programmed that I misremembered the classic Mega Man X being, a little less good than my game. That's what
Yeah, it's a little, I don't know, man. Like it's amazing. It's so good, but I played it and I was just like, why am I so fucking slow? I remember being faster. But what
The
else have I
sequels
been playing?
definitely improve on the original one.
I can't explain why, but you are Boomer Kuwanger and John is an armored armadillo, while Derek is a chill penguin. Do not ask any follow-up questions.
I
That
don't
is just
want to.
factual.
You trying to call me chubby?
Dude,
I wouldn't.
You're not
be,
wrong, but
I wouldn't be Sigma. I'm like bald.
no.
No, sorry.
dude, I
It's
just tier
giving armored
listed.
armadillo vibes.
That's perfect. Well, he's wearing purple in armor. Yeah, I just every time we play one of these games, we tier list something about the game, and we just tier listed all the Mavericks. And Boomer Kuwanger was my only S tier. I fucking love Boomer Kuwanger.
Bro,
I
what's
remember
got to
as a
be
kid
fucking
being
wrong
like,
with you to
what the fuck is a
name a Maverick
Kuwanger?
Boomer Kuwanger? Like,
Yeah.
I just
Hell
remember
yeah.
being so confused what a Kuwanger was as a kid. I'm like, I know what a penguin is.
it's the
I know
only
a mammoth.
it's the only
What the
Maverick
fuck's
whose
a
name is
Kuwanger?
like that. It's because it's a mix between the word Kuwagata and like boomeranger, right?
Yeah, but explain that
but
to
that
a
doesn't-
What the fuck are you talking about?
Kuwagata is Japanese for, I think, stag beetle.
Yes.
So, which is the type of
That's the
animal that he is. So
Yeah.
it's like a weird pun, and it's not bad. It's just no other Maverick's name worked like that. If they named him like everyone else, he'd be Boomerang Beetle. But
Yeah.
As well, he
Yeah.
should have been.
yeah, but we got Boomer Kuwanger,
No,
and
I
hence
like
I've loved
Boomer
him because of his
Kuwanger.
weird ass name.
Yeah, and his stage is amazing, and his song is so.
Oh,
it's
the
so
whole
good.
soundtrack in Mega Man X is like second to only
yeah.
Mega Man 2, I think. So
Everyone was asking for us to play X2 next stream, but I think we're doing A Link to the Past. But
Nice.
yeah, that's what I've been playing. I've been playing classics.
hell yeah, hell
So-
yeah.
As you do.
Half of what I play are classics all the time. But
Looking at your background,
more
I
than-
could never guess.
I know, right? But so recently I've been playing. I'm doing a Metroid Prime HD hard mode 100% playthrough. But
Ooh.
I don't really want to talk about that. I want to talk about what I've been playing it on. And I got myself, for people who can watch that, who are in chat, great, you can see this. If you're just listening to this on podcast services, maybe you should be in the fucking chat on Thursday night. How about that?
Yeah, comment on the chat.
But
bold way to
is
be
my
aggressive
Switch.
to the majority of our audience who are listeners only.
This is my Switch.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like a regular Nintendo Switch, does it?
You got that
No,
Nitro
it's like a
deck
Switch.
add-on.
This is a Nitro deck. And what it is I just pop it right out. There's my Switch.
It's like a controller shell, right?
It's literally just a controller shell.
For people
And
with big, beefy Tyrannosaurus hands.
I pop it in.
Truckosaurus
And
hands. T-Rex had famously small
And there
hands.
it is. And this thing is solid as fuck. There's no give or wiggle, whatever. It feels like one single unit.
Whoa.
It's
You're one
absolutely
single
like,
unit.
I am a fucking unit. You're right about that. I am famously large. Just in case.
You're a
just in
big
case
dude.
you weren't
I remember
aware.
But
meeting
not
you in
often
person
charge.
for the first time at a PAX after being on the show for a while. And like everyone else was like exactly the size I expected them to be, and then John is like looming through the crowd. I was like, "Oh no, it's coming right for me."
He's coming. But it has paddles on the back, and you can remap them and everything. The Nitro deck was $60. It is the best investment I have made for the Nintendo Switch, because as somebody, like Derek said, as somebody with big giant Tyrannosaurus hands,
Truckosaurus hands, as we established, T-Rex had famously small hands.
whatever. I
The
got
joke
big
is
ass
Truckosaurus
hands.
hands.
And playing, because I mostly play my Switch 99% of the time. I'm playing it handheld. And my left or right hand always will fall the fuck asleep whenever I'm playing it. From my hand down to my forearm, and it sucks. And I gotta stop playing, and I'm like shaking my shit out. What's
Yeah,
that?
that like
is it like
down
right
the-
to here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This completely alleviates that. Plus, I got the black one, and it makes the Switch look like a fucking Steam Deck.
It does.
Which is a good
It
aesthetic.
is really fucking. What's that?
I said, which is a good aesthetic.
It is a good aesthetic. This I highly fucking recommend. If you have a Switch, go get yourself a Nitro deck. It is fucking incredible.
I hope they make one for the Switch too when it comes out.
Dude, so this thing has been such a runaway success that I am sure that they are going to do a Nitro deck for the Switch 2 as well. It would be nice if the Switch 2 just fit my fucking Nitro deck, but who knows?
Don't expect that.
Probably not. But that being said, I absolutely love this thing, and until the Switch 2 comes out, I'm not ever playing a Switch with Joy-Cons ever again.
Nice.
And aside from that, you know me, I've just been playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Nice.
Finn, what you been playing, bub?
Oh man. Let's see. I have been playing WrestleQuest. I'm about 80% done, I would say. I am playing Baldur's Gate 3, 4 separate campaigns with different friend groups.
Oh my god. How are you even here right
Damn.
now?
Because of Eric.
Not.
Because of Eric. I'm only here because of my new best friend Eric.
He's playing Baldur's Gate right now.
Yeah. This is a projection.
It's so good. I am also playing Cyberpunk 2077. Now that I never played it, I kept holding off because I was like, you know what? Eventually this game might get fixed, and then the new stuff dropped, and it did, and so I'm finally playing it for the first time. We'll see how that goes. I'm very early in that. Ghost Runner
Oh,
1.
cool.
Sure. Ghost Runner 1, which famously SDGC is in their awards section on Steam.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
So much fun.
Yes.
Because we gave them a sake and they put that in their Steam
Finn, there's a
accolades.
sequel coming out soon, right?
There is. I'm very excited for it. I hope we get selected for a review code because I am a big fan of the first game.
Would be so cool if we got selected for a review code.
It would be really cool if you guys got selected for a review code.
Would be so cool if we had
I don't know.
one.
And then And then, damn, I mean,
It'd be
I
really
got
cool if you all
Assassin's Creed
didn't ruin
Mirage.
shit for us.
Who can say?
Assassin's Creed Mirage finally arrived because I ordered the collector's edition from the Ubisoft store. And I had to
How
wait
is
for it to
that?
ship.
I've been waffling.
I don't
back and
know.
forth about it.
I've heard very good things about its length and how much fun it is.
That's what she said.
Heyo.
Caitlin's dad, Saki's dad, we got him into gaming by getting him an Xbox and a copy of Assassin's Creed Origins, and he 100%ed it, 100%ed Odyssey, 100%ed Valhalla, all DLC, everything. Started going back and playing 1, 2, and 3. So he was more excited about Mirage than I am. I keep getting updates from him about his progress, and he seems very happy. So I use him as my barometer for Assassin's Creed games now. And then, of course, next week I'm gonna be balls deep in Spider-Man, Mario Wonder, and Sonic Superstars. So
What the fuck are you talking about? You're gonna be here.
I
And
will
still-
be there physically, but I am bringing. I'm gonna have my PlayStation on, and I will be streaming PlayStation to my backbone iPhone, PlayStation remote play, and
I'm going
ignoring
to
all of
slap
you.
that fucking phone out of your hand.
That's
No,
fine.
Don't
And
do
I'll pick
that.
it
Don't
up,
be mean.
and don't be mean, John. You'll
But
be
I'm
too
mean.
busy not being good at games on screen. I will
fine.
take periodic breaks to shame and humble everyone in Duck Game.
Yeah,
though, because
Finn's gonna brutalize us
is
in
my
a
It's
duck
right.
game.
unnaturally good at duck game. Like it's weird. I don't like it.
like it was just
he really doesn't like. That's why he had to leave.
it started as a joke until like 50 games in I had never been defeated and people just stopped wanting to play.
Thing on me.
Uh,
What is this shit?
John, you were so unhappy with Finn winning at Duck Game that you just fucking dipped.
Duck, duck, go.
Yeah, well, you know what, Finn? I'm
duck,
tougher
goat.
than you in real life, so whatever.
Yeah, that's fine, but we live in a digital world.
I'll beat up
so-
your dad, IRL.
The future's not physical, it's digital, bitch.
Oh, that's the saddest news of the day.
Did you see that, by the way? Yeah.
I've never been more heartbroken.
Yeah,
because
Best Buy.
I am a
No,
purely
and
digital
Target.
person. Yeah, and Target.
No.
What?
No more selling
They're
physical.
They're no longer selling physical media in 2024, which blows my mind because Best Buy was the place they got all of the Steelbook exclusives, like all of their movies, most of their games, all had. Oh god!
I imagine they'll still do pre-orders, but that's different from like having shelves where physical games and movies, music are stocked. So, that's gonna be weird for a lot of people who work for Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony, though, because there are people whose literal job it is to go around to retailers and make sure that like they're compliant on having that shit out on shelves and arranged the right way. So,
Yikes.
you know.
I mean,
Weird.
we kind of saw this coming, right? Like the split on physical and digital media has just been getting,
Bigger
like
and
that
bigger.
gulf has just been getting wider and wider and
I
wider.
never expected it to like go away. Like,
Yeah.
make it like more and more minuscule, but to full on drop it because they're not even. It's not even that they're just not stocking in physical stores. They're not selling physical media online either anymore.
Oh,
It's just gone. No, they
gone.
announced on their online store and physical, and that just breaks me
shit.
my soul.
That's wild.
And the next thing is going to be the like physical video games.
Yes, and it's so sad, so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you know, it's the times, right? Like it's a sign of the times. Like video games are healthier than ever right now. But physical media is dying, and you know, that's and that's not a problem with movies or television or video games themselves. They're all doing great. The problem is the way in which they're delivered.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that is what slowly. And look, like I'm part of it. Like I do not buy physical games. I don't.
Yeah,
Like
I hate having to manage a fucking hard drive. Like, just let me use physical, and so
not
I don't
me,
have
dude.
To,
Like
I hate it.
See, like if there's like a cool special edition, like the Pixel Remaster stuff you see back here, like I'll pick that up, or like, you know, Resident Evil 2 remake. I got that for the Leon statue, but I still buy the digital versions because I don't want to fuck around.
I mean, I'm primarily a
with-
PC gamer, so like I've been primarily digital for God
Yeah,
knows how long. But it's just
like
and that's the thing. It's like that's just the way it's been. But that's easier on PC, where like I've just had Steam or like other storefronts that have done the job of keeping like GOG. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce it or not. has done a wonderful job at making sure a lot of older stuff stays working on modern versions of Windows and Mac and Linux. But like, that's not a thing. If I'd been all digital on my PS3, that would be wasted money now.
Yeah.
You know,
Like that's the thing. Like,
So-
what's stopping them from one day just being like, no?
yeah.
Like I'm sure as an indie dev, like as a dev period, like I don't want to, I'm not going to make the distinction indie, AAA, you're a developer. It's all the same thing. Like, I'm sure you know that, I mean, this was always going to happen at some point. Like,
we even for this Kickstarter, there were talks of like, are we doing a physical? And like, it was almost pretty much unanimous, like, no, don't, it's not worth it.
Not yet, but you will hopefully team up with Limited Run or someone similar.
Yes,
Drop them later. Like, that's my saving grace.
that was the
Companies like that.
caveat. The caveat is like, no right now, but like I forget how they put it, like they thermometer test the water, whatever, and the more successful the Kickstarter, the more interested things like Limited Run or Rare Games or all those guys, they'll be more interested in working with you. So yeah, it's a big investment for it to have done something, for a physical thing to have done this Kickstarter. It would have been like a huge, ridiculous stretch goal to.
Oh yeah, and
make it worth it.
I expect it and I respect it. And then I just end up hoping that eventually you get to the point where we can.
so
yeah.
I'm going to put on my conspiracy theory hat for a minute. This right here is why the PS5 Slim Disk Drive Edition looks so embarrassing and ugly. It's because they're trying to drive people further away from physical and into the arms.
That is
of
a little
digital.
tinfoil hat because we know the actual reason. Like, it's because it's an add-on.
Well, no, I know that, but here's the thing: that physical version of the PS5 Slim comes with a little dongle that you use to prop the other end up. Derek, have you seen this? It's
Yeah,
like a little
bad.
crutch.
But the PS5 is designed stupid to begin with. Like, it's a truly dog shit like design. It looks cool enough, but it is design first, function later, which is why every version of it requires this completely unreasonable stand thing in order to fit horizontal or vertical. Like, make a box.
Alien says, does the new PS5 has better specs or just slim down? It's just slimmed down.
It's just a slim down.
It's
Yeah.
the version
It's
of the
to
PS5
it's to
Slim.
streamline manufacturing, because now instead of making two separate models, they make one model. It's just a matter of whether or not it has the optional disk drive included or not. And it's
Does this mean that we're not going to get a PS5 Pro next year?
we are. There's like,
You think so?
there's already like specs and stuff out there.
Okay.
But this is just a refresh of the base model. So
Finn, Finn, you went, right? Sorry, my brain is complete.
Yes,
Is
I
fried
think so.
tonight. Okay.
What did I go? Yes.
yeah,
I did.
for his, I think it's just me
Derek.
left before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy.
I'm gonna be quick. I don't have a whole lot that I've been playing. I've been trying to avoid getting into anything too big for a couple of reasons. First, we have several huge games about to hit, so I don't want to get involved in something really big and then have to put that aside for multiple other huge games that I'm waiting for in the month of October. Also, we've got the charity event coming up next week, and I didn't want to, be playing something for, a week or two with the limited time I have to play games and not get super far and then have to put everything down and drive out to, DC. So I've been looking for games that are good, like pick up, play for a bit, put it down, don't have to be hyper invested in. So I spent most of my time playing Slay the Spire, which, I mean, wonderful roguelike deck builder. I mean, I think it is kind of the game that gave the resurgence to the deck builder. Let me just actually pronounce my words.
There you go. Feel it out.
Enunciate.
Get the mouth feel.
Yeah. It's despicable. But
Oh, like that.
I thought that was really good.
Slay the Spire is so good. I mean, the vibes are so weird, and the system's so well thought out. Like, it's a really engaging version of that. And despite multiple small teams making like deck builders in a similar fashion, man, nothing touches Slay the Spire for me. The other thing I've been playing is a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic, which is always good to go back to. I love Roller Coaster Tycoon. I grew up playing those games. If you've not played Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic, it is basically 1 and 2 combined into a single game. So it's Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, but it's got all of these scenarios of 1 and 2 and a bunch of extra stuff. It's easily the best Roller Coaster Tycoon thing you can buy and play on current hardware. And it's just good. It's good. Roller Coaster Tycoon is the best, one of the best pick up, play for 30 minutes or so, because, you can't start dinner yet. Put it back down when, save and put it back down games I've played in ages.
What happens in Roller Coaster Tycoon when the roller coaster breaks and a bunch of
people die,
get killed? Like, do you get sued in the game? Are you liable for damages?
It does. No, that doesn't happen. It does affect your park rating, but
so and like, if I was fucking around, people can die in this game?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Every person who ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon at some point built the shuttle loop roller coaster, cranked the launch speed up to max, and launched like 24 people to their deaths into a lake. Everyone did that. It has to be the lake.
Am I a sick man for wanting to play Roller Coaster Tycoon now?
No, dude, Roller Coaster Tycoon's so good, dude. It's
really
so good. But it's got to be the classic ones. 3 is fine, but any of the newer ones have been dog shit other than classic. But yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon is a great time. I might stream it sometime, John, and have you get on with me on headset, and we'll.
Oh yeah.
Or I'll play a little when we meet up, because I'm coming to see you next week, and so is everyone else.
Next week all of us are hanging out.
Yeah, all 7 of the SDGC crew raising money for the Trans Empowerment Project. We are going to do Friday afternoon and evening. We are going to be doing rock band karaoke exclusively to the Discord. Because with all that licensed music, we cannot stream to Twitch. So, join the Discord for that one. That's where we'll be streaming that too. And then next Saturday is when we will be doing the actual all-day game stream. We got a few games picked out. We'll have donation incentives and milestones and shit like that. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna be fucking wasted for sure, but yeah, it's gonna be.
Are we doing aren't people getting pies to the face and shit?
Yeah,
that's one of the punishment is, right?
Look, we're still working on the on the donation incentives, but yeah, getting a cream pie to the face is one of them. We got nasty beans for people to try. I've got a bottle.
Also got I got a fresh. Will be shaving his mustache.
Nope, we got a fresh bottle of Malort.
Okay, so let me speak on that. Let me speak on that.
I have an idea as well.
Yeah.
Oh, let me speak on that. Let me speak on that. Hold on.
Wait, let the guest give his idea.
Hold on, Finn. Hold on. As somebody who's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Malort.
Yeah. Old man Jepson's Malort.
Okay, so there's not a single motherfucker on this podcast who's ready for what happens when that Malort crosses your lips.
I'm sure. I'm sure. That's why I'm making
it tastes like somebody farted in a bowl of milk and left it outside for 3 weeks in July in Arizona, and then dunked a grilled cheese sandwich into it afterward and took a big bite.
That's a weird. Okay. Look, that's why I'm making some actual wizard hooch to bring though. So,
I'm just saying, Malort, the moment you drink it, the person that you were 5 seconds prior immediately dies. And this new being that is just born out of hell's cervix.
It's like the central philosophical question of Soma, except it happens immediately when you drink Malort.
This new person that takes your place after you drink Malort is just a little sadder, a little more depressed, and a little less optimistic about the future.
Yeah. I do have a sexy nurse outfit that I'm going to wear for the remainder of the stream once we hit goal. So.
Cool,
wait.
Cool.
Yeah. Just, the stereotypical it's Halloween, motherfuckers.
Oh, man, this is really awkward. We wore the same thing.
Wait.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Fishnets and everything. Let's fucking go.
I did not know this.
Happy Halloween! Donate to the Trans Empowerment Project, motherfuckers. But
hey, man.
but yeah,
go for it.
It's gonna be a fun time.
Wait. All right, Eric, what was your idea?
Oh, well, I mean, it's all this actually makes it even better, I think. So, it sounds like the person after they have drunken a Malort, one Malort, please.
Yeah.
A sip of Malort.
One single Malort. After you've been
I would like
Malorted.
when I've been Malorted, or when someone has been Malorted, it sounds like this new person is going to be way more open and willing and accepting the idea of, say, every certain amount of money donated, an inch of hair is shaved from their face.
No.
And
Yes.
it slowly starts here and it slowly creeps in. So every $100 is just another inch, another inch, another inch. And I've heard this style goes really good. Like, it looks really good with fishnet nurse outfits.
No,
I'm not gonna be fishnet sexy nurse Hitler. I'm not being Nurse Hitler.
You're gonna be Nurse Charlie. Come on.
Also, it's
You
not
could be a Silent
There's
Hill
a
nurse.
reason Charlie Chaplin stopped doing the mustache. You know that.
It's
You
not
could be a
it's
Silent Hill
new
nurse.
You.
You could be a Silent Hill nurse and move with those jerky motions all over the stream.
Yeah.
You can't really do that. Never mind. I'm not gonna go that far with that. Brit's not here for me to make that
Do
joke.
the jerky
to.
motions, Derek. Do it.
Once
Do the
again,
jerky
not
motions.
allowed to. We will get banned.
You look me in the eye when you're milking, motherfucker.
Look me
So
in the
for
eye
those
when you milk me.
for those who are listening and don't know that story, and also for our guest Eric, this was when the Switch first came out.
Switch. It was me,
you and
other
Maddie,
Matt.
right?
Yep.
Me, Finn, and Maddie were in Boston. It was our first PAX, actually, Finn.
It was.
It was our first PAX, and Finn and Maddie. I miss Maddie. He's not on the show anymore. But Finn and Maddie were doing 1-2 switch, and I'm just sitting
cow
here
milking
observing
game.
this horror show. And there's this cow milking game where you have the Joy-Con, and you have to press the button and do like this.
The fucking full ringing motion.
You
Because you have to hit
you
the
gotta
top
do this
button,
right here,
pull down, then hit
and-
the bottom one. So you've literally got to fucking
and
pull the
Finn is
teeth.
like starting to lose it, and Maddie dead, like stone cold fucking face, like just these piercing eyes staring right at Finn without a hint of irony or joking. Says, "You look me in the eye when you're milking, motherfucker." And Finn, I thought Finn was gonna fucking die. Like, Finn, to this day, I've never heard you laugh like that. Like,
yeah, it was great.
He's just like, but the thing is, he's doing this the whole time. He's like, "You look me in the eye when you're milking, motherfucker."
Yeah,
like it was just, it was the funniest fucking shit I have ever seen.
I do miss Maddie. But yeah, that's what I've been playing: Roller Coaster Tycoon and Slay the Spire. And with that,
Eric, what's the big news haps this week? What's going on?
So I mean, there's been a little news stuff. There's been like more layoff talk.
You did it with some sass there, Derek.
A little bit. Look, we've done layoff talk way too many weeks in a row. I don't have it in me to fucking do that anymore.
Wait, there were layoffs again?
I think there were layoffs again. I just don't have it in me. So I thought of something fun. Today, Hideki Kamiya, famed Rockstar game designer, left Platinum Games. Today was his last day.
He drove off in his Lamborghini.
He drove off in his fucking Lamborghini. But he, he like started a YouTube channel and made like a weird video, and I don't know, dude's kind of a goofball, but he is obligated, it seems, to stay out of the games industry for 1 year due to a non-compete clause. So he couldn't leave Platinum and go to any other gaming company. So he's effectively going to be unemployed for a year before he can come back. He expressed, it sounds like he was getting tired of being in an executive position and wanted to get closer to the roles that are actually involved in making games again.
He's going to be working on Scalebound in his spare time.
Look...
Turns out he's scaling down.
This is probably the end of Platinum, right? Like,
I mean, that's not really what I want to talk about, but like Platinum has been in a weird spot for a while where it seems like they're turning more and more into a support studio than a blockbuster studio of their own. We'll see what happens, but with with Kamiya gone, like he was the big name still attached. So I don't think it's the end, but I think they've really got to figure out what they're doing. Now, also, this is kind of bringing to mind, I think right around the same time, Shinji Mikami, who is another rock star, famous old school game designer, kind of, made some comments about how he'd be returning to his work in games soon, because Mikami left Tango Gameworks in February. So he likewise has a 1-year non-compete clause, and in February will be able to return to the world of gaming. Likewise, Mikami had kind of made it clear that he was tired of being in like executive positions and just wanted to make games again. So we've got two famous rock star Japanese game developers, often closely related. Their careers are tightly intertwined due to their famous tenure at Capcom, right? Working on games like Resident Evil, Devil May Cry. So kind of here's my question. Where do we think these two could realistically end up when they come back into, being able to work in gaming again?
I'm going to make this easy.
And I think that's two different questions, right? Where do you think they could be, and what do you think is the coolest fucking possibility?
Right. Okay,
right?
so
those are different things.
Super easy. I'm going to make this super easy. Square, snap up Shinji Mikami and remake Parasite Eve. It's that fucking simple.
You got... I mean, look, as far as dreams go, that's not bad.
He's not wrong.
That's not bad. I don't know what... Mikami seems so different from Square's producers, though, and designers, right? He doesn't seem like a Square person.
There has been a resurgence in the whole horrors from the 90s redone.
If there was a time to fucking revisit Parasite Eve with everything from the Resident Evil remakes to Alan Wake 2.
Yup.
Like
Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill. There has been a horror renaissance happening recently. Yep. And if there is ever a time to fucking jump on that train and bring back Parasite Eve, this is the time to do it. Snap up Shinji Mikami, make him the director of the fucking game, and like just imagine a Parasite Eve remake with Shinji Mikami at the helm with a decent budget behind it from Square. Like, fuck.
Well, the decent budget thing is sometimes a difficulty when it comes to Square, but
right. But all I'm saying, Derek, is
but
just
new CEO, so who knows?
Just imagine it. I think that's a pretty cool fucking idea.
I think it is.
I would agree with you.
Can I throw?
I'd be down.
Can I throw a counter offer at you?
Mm-hmm.
What if Shinji Mikami? Because look, obviously everyone's going to expect me to say both of them should go back to Capcom, which I don't think will ever actually happen. It would be the coolest thing ever. I think there's a little too many bridges burned there. Even if Capcom has really come back as a better place to work, I just don't think it's happening again.
God, now you got me thinking about maybe Hideki Kamiya working on Beautiful Joe.
It would be lovely, but do you think, dude, if Capcom like revived the Clover brand and brought back Mikami and Kamiya, we'd have world peace. No, I'm going to give you another counter offer. Konami for Shinji Mikami. Okay? Think about it. Konami is trying to get back into the game space in a more meaningful way. Right?
You're talking about Silent Hill here.
I don't think just Silent Hill, because remember, Mikami is not only in the horror space, right? He has made games in all kinds of genres. And Mikami might be the kind of person you want to be your like singular rock star talent, training up the next, especially because Mikami is very focused on training up successors to him, right?
Ooh, somebody that suggested Metal Gear Rising 2.
Well, right? I mean, again, the guy's got action game credentials. Right? The guy's got, again, from his era of Capcom, like all kinds of games. So like Konami, Metal Gear could use his oversight. Castlevania, right, could use his oversight. Silent Hill could use his oversight. I think there's options there.
I want to know where our guest is sitting on this, because you're actually a dev. Like what do you want to see? What's your dream scenario?
I know what I want to see.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear me.
I don't think you guys are ready for it, but
let's fucking go. Like,
All right, man. So Shinji, Hideki, show up. You, them, all of us sit down together at the table, and we make Goof Troop 2.
Yes.
You just blew my face right off of my face. I gotta say, you brought up that Mikami worked on Goof Troop, and I, like, a light switch clicked in my head, remembering playing that game, and like, God,
so good.
Remember when Capcom made like incredible fucking licensed games back in the Super Nintendo era?
Yes,
no, not just the Super Nintendo era. NES fucking Chippendale Rescue Rangers, baby.
Oh yeah, that's so.
That shit was my fucking jam when
Did
I was
they
a
do-
kid.
Yep.
Who did DuckTales?
Oh,
That wasn't
that was
Capcom,
Capcom.
was it?
Capcom.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it?
that was Capcom. Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
DuckTales is a fucking classic. Like,
Yep.
which is why I was sad that the remake sucked so bad. But
Yeah.
Did it?
just release
I didn't ever play it, so.
DuckTales. Like, but Finn, what about you? Where are you at?
I'm already on board with Goof Troop 2.
It's the best option.
Troop harder. Also, I
Two
want
Goof, two
there
Troop.
to be a power line dance sequence.
Yes. Yes.
We
You
can
know what?
afford-
Not for nothing. Not for nothing. But I want to throw something out here that I find phenomenal. Is that there's a rumor that because Disney World's Rock and Roller Coaster, the licensing with Aerosmith or Rolling Stones is done. Aerosmith, whatever, whichever one it is. And there's talks that it might become a power line ride, and I am all about that.
Okay,
Anyway, that's just.
I've got one for Derek.
Yeah.
I got one for Derek.
Yeah.
Capcom brings Hideki Kamiya in. They sit him
Okay.
down. They hand him a contract. And they're like, "We want you in charge of the next Devil May Cry."
That's hard because Itsuno's done a really fucking good job with the franchise. And I don't know that they want to give that up
Or
to.
How about this?
Oh.
We're gonna bring you onto the Dragon's Dogma team.
Ooh.
Again, that's Itsuno's baby, and Itsuno is already a rock star at Capcom.
Well, where do you think Hideki Kamiya fits at Capcom?
If Kamiya goes into Capcom, he gets to do original shit.
Yeah.
That
Exoprimal 2.
No. What was that game that Capcom just revealed? That weird Japanese like Path of the Goddess.
I have no fucking idea what you're talking
I know which one you're talking
Kunitsugami
about.
Path of the Goddess. That they revealed back in
I know what you're
June.
talking about.
That looked like a Clover Studios game out of time, right?
Are you talking about Pragmata? No.
No.
That's different. No. I know. Oh, never mind. I remember which one.
It
you're
had
talking
this
about.
like demon gate.
It's
thing.
at first I thought it might have been like an Onimusha, like a weird Onimusha
Yeah.
reboot, and then it was clearly a different game.
Wait,
but
what the?
what?
I was just gonna say, what the fuck are we talking about? If Hideki Kamiya goes to Capcom, it's like, dude, time to make Okami 2.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like, what the
Blaine,
fuck's wrong
right
with
as
me?
Blaine said
Like,
it in
what-
chat, right? I don't think you can make Okami 2. I don't think you can.
Fuck
Okami-
you, Derek. Yes, you can.
Okami-
Shut
They've
up.
already tried enough with all the spin-offs like
You
Okami
could.
did.
Okami
and-
is already Okami 1, 2, and 3 in a single game. Like,
No, what we really need is a Project X Zone 3. Okay?
yes, only because it is technically a Super Robot Wars series game.
Yes,
and
it
I
is.
am a
And it's
sucker
amazing.
for all of that shit. I
So
love
good.
I love trying to explain the DNA of how it starts with Super Robot Wars and then goes to Namco Cross Capcom and then Super Robot Wars Tyson to Project X Zone and that it's all technically one series. Fuck it.
Yeah.
No.
Vanquish 2 is a good one, Delaby.
Yeah. I think here's the
Vanquish
thing.
2.
I can tell you what I think won't happen for sure is neither of them are going to Microsoft. I don't think
No.
either of them are going to any of the big three. They're not going to Microsoft because like Mikami just left Microsoft, right? Tango is owned by Microsoft now. I just don't see him going back to a Microsoft owned company. And Kamiya still has a lot of hurt around Scalebound. And I think people are weird about Kamiya because of his Twitter presence and like, God forbid the man be a little annoying on Twitter. But like, that's clearly some of the deepest pain, like professional pain that he's felt in his entire career was what happened around Scalebound. I just don't see him going back to Microsoft. Meanwhile, Sony doesn't really have the infrastructure for big Japanese studios, right? They're focusing more and more on the West. And Nintendo will partner with whatever studios people make, but Nintendo doesn't seem to be hiring any more rock stars at this point. They're just building up their own folks. So I don't think the big three are getting either of them.
I am now so sold on this idea of Shinji Mikami going to Square and remaking Parasite Eve that like I've just disappointed myself because I know it's not going to fucking happen.
Yep.
I don't know why I do this to myself.
You know what? I know what's going to happen. Okay, Embracer Group is going to buy both of them.
No, you know what?
And then shut down their studio in 2 months.
Do you know who I could see somebody like Kamiya going to? Sega.
Ooh.
Depends. God, they need to open. See, the thing is, these
Kamiya working on a new Like a Dragon.
These two are so big that they either headline a studio or you make a new studio for them, right? Like, I just don't. It's hard, and I don't know that I see either of them. I think it's more likely we see Shinji Mikami end up at one of the big companies again, and Hideki Kamiya start his own small team.
Do you think Mikami would go back to Capcom?
I think it's more likely Mikami does than Kamiya. Kamiya's too punk rock, right? I don't necessarily mean that in like a he's cool way. I think that Kamiya genuinely at the core of his being does not want to work for big fucking companies. You know, I think he's been burned too bad. It's the fact that he doesn't want to be an executive vice president anymore because he just wants to program some games, you know? So I don't know. Capcom would have to reopen Clover to get Kamiya back. I don't see how else they could do it. It would take some courtship for sure. Sega's an interesting call though.
I could see that. I could also see oh god, what's the name of that fucking dev? Japanese dev. Fuck. God damn it.
What game?
Fuck it. Fuck it. Kamiya goes to Game Freak.
No. No.
Oh my god. Please.
Don't get me wrong. I would love for a Pokemon game to go to space at the end. That's why I love Emerald. I
would just love a Pokemon game to actually run well.
And not suck gigantic ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Kamiya, like the problem with Kamiya is like the dude's history is undeniable, but Platinum as a studio has struggled hard, right? So he's been tied to a studio that has really been struggling, you know, most of its existence, I hate to say. You know, and it's almost like he would perform better at a big studio or at a big publishing house, but I don't know. I wonder. I've seen people. Oh, you go ahead.
When I see Hideki, I think of Grasshopper Studios. I know it's not his jam, but like it's the same vibe I get.
Yeah, it's that kind of very like anarchic punk rock. Like we're gonna make our own weird shit,
right?
And you like it or you don't.
Authoritative issues, like even in the game, it's very like fuck the establishment. And, that's just the vibe I get from him.
Yeah. I've seen people suggest NetEase because NetEase has been throwing down money for talent.
I'm sorry, but NetEase just sounds like something I take when I've got severe constipation.
It doesn't sound nice.
Side effects of NetEase may include.
Man, dude, I'm so stopped up. I need to get some NetEase.
Yeah. But again, I just don't like Kamiya. I think that Kamiya's more ideologically driven than Mikami is, right? Mikami and Kamiya are both hardcore artists in that what they want is to feel a connection to the process of actually creating art, right? They don't want to be suits. They don't want to be top level decision makers. They want to be designing shit. But Kamiya is impulsive. I don't mean that in a bad way, but he is. And he's much more driven by like what offends his sensibilities versus what satisfies his sensibilities. And he is kind of punk rock. So I just don't see him taking a shitload of money to go work for, Tencent or NetEase or Embracer. It doesn't feel right. Ooh, Bandai Namco is an interesting call.
That I feel like is more
Bamco's
likely.
probably the smartest call of all.
What was the last game Treasure did?
Is Treasure still around?
They're still around.
I thought. Hang on, let me see.
I was like just looking at.
I don't think Treasure actually closed.
I'm looking them up right now.
Yeah.
I think they've been more. They have not developed a game since 2014.
Yeah. Okay, so as of
there's
last
less
year,
than
they
10
said
people.
So
at Treasure.
So last year they said Treasure announced it was working on a highly requested game.
Yeah, but they're a shell right now, which means that Treasure is paying a contractor to do like a remaster report. Because there's less than 10 people at Treasure right now. So
I will say that Bandai Namco does make sense for someone.
Bandai Namco has a shitload of internal and like contract teams that could use, and like Bandai Namco is not afraid to make weird AA shit. They'll make whatever the fuck they want.
What if he takes on the next Smash Bros? Fuck it.
I will say, Kamiya and Sakurai.
Mario's gonna have some huge titties.
Yeah, dude.
Kamiya and Sakurai are extremely good friends in real life. So I wonder if Kamiya could end up joining. Sakurai's been trying to jump off and do his own shit for ages and just keeps getting grabbed by the fucking Smash Bros lasso.
I think it's pretty fucking funny that people think that Ultimate's going to be the last Smash Brothers.
That's not going to be.
That's ridiculous.
No.
It makes too much money. Who would just be like, nah, that makes too much money?
Yeah. We don't need that much cash. Jesus.
No, thank you. We're Nintendo.
Even if Sakurai's not involved, they're going to make another fucking Smash Brothers.
Yeah. So then, and I personally think that the next Smash Bros needs like a huge
it's definitely you got to do an overhaul because you can't just keep building from where they're at.
No, you can't make it any bigger. Like it's one of those like a movie just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and that doesn't make it any more interesting. I would go back to the original.
It's like the NCU, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to go back to the first 12 and like totally overhaul the mechanics and what is Smash.
Make it a turn-based RPG. Now we're talking.
A turn-based RPG with tag-in mechanics with
I like this.
cameos.
I like where this is going.
That's
timed underwater escort missions. Like
Rose.
So Delaby brings up an interesting call, which is what if Mikami ends up at Unseen, which is Ikumi Nakamura's studio. Remember Nakamura famously being his protege at Tango, who was leading up Ghostwire Tokyo before she left. She's the one who blew up and went viral in the Microsoft press conference.
Yep.
Wasn't
she
it?
Did that little because she's delightful.
Yeah, or the Bethesda one. Yeah. It's spooky. Yeah, I mean interesting. Yeah. I think it's interesting to think about because like you're talking about two people who come from an era back when like being the lead designer on a game, even at a big company like Capcom, was closer to like what it is to be an indie today, right? Which is the head of the project is not a suit. The head of the project is in there fucking typing lines of code, right? Is in there actually designing levels and it's the era when Ed Boon was able to sneak whole extra characters into Mortal Kombat unseen by the rest of the team. You know what I mean? So these are people who are craftsmen, not executives. And I think the industry suffered for them being out of it for as long as they have. So yeah, I just think it's going to be really fascinating to see what happens with these two. Mikami much sooner than Kamiya because Mikami's only in a couple months.
Yeah, you said Kamiya's got another year, right?
Kamiya, since he just left today officially, he's got a whole year. So October next year, we'll be talking about him. But like I said, Mikami is February. So, and I would not be surprised if there are not people already knocking on his door to get him. Because the other thing is Mikami's beloved and Kamiya's a little bit louder, shall we put it? So I could.
That's a good way to
I
put it.
I do
bad
have
thing.
a final question for our guest because I know
Yeah,
we're running
since
short
we're
on
getting
time.
close to time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So John, you might want to walk away real quick.
Son of a bitch, here it comes.
The most important question for all of our guests. Eric, in your heart of hearts, if
What
you
do I
have
like
to
the most?
You can't
choose
hear anything anymore.
cake or pie,
Cake or pie?
It's always the cake or pie question.
Do I get to ask what kind of cake or pie? Because that's a
it's
huge.
cake or pie. It's you got to choose. How do you rationalize it to yourself? That's why it's a personal question. Everyone has their own journey.
This question puts
it's-
panic in people's hearts.
It infuriates me. I'm infuriated right now. I'm mad at you because it's unfair because it's not just cake or pie. It's what kind of cake and what kind of pie. If it's an apple cake versus an apple pie, I take the apple pie. If it's a strawberry cake versus a strawberry pie, I take the strawberry cake.
Is it
This is the
cheesecake, a
most
cake, or
I don't know if you
pie?
guys can hear me, but I can't hear shit.
I can hear
so-
you, John. Does a
We can
pizza
hear you.
count as pie?
It's a pizza
I mean,
pie.
it's in the name, pizza pie.
Right,
What about a chicken pot pie?
right. A
Is that a
steak and ale
pie?
pie.
Savory pie. Look, I'm just saying you have
All right.
Is a meatloaf
Your own-
technically a cake?
There we go. All right. What the fuck did I just come back to?
John, is a meatloaf a cake?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, it's
A
a
hot
fucking
dog
taco.
is popcorn dessert.
Yes,
No.
it can be.
No,
Oh, popcorn's a
A
snack.
hot dog.
popcorn is a
A
snack.
hot dog is
A
not a
dessert
fucking sandwich.
is just a snack with a late night appointment. That's all it is.
No, no,
I
no.
will.
No. A dessert needs a certain amount of like caloric sugar intake. There's a threshold
It's
for
gotta be
sweetness
kettle
when it
corn
comes to
then.
dessert.
I will.
Kettle corn is a
literally-
dessert. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Chocolate drizzled popcorn. Okay,
Alright,
now we're talking.
Caramel corn. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, now we're talking. Okay, cake or pie?
Yeah.
There's an inappropriate word for this question.
Oh god,
Um,
Ben asked the fucking question.
Yeah, and he's been wrestling with it since I did because it's a great
I-
question.
It's not a great question.
It's a great question.
There's too many semantics.
He's
Um,
torn. It's a great interview question because it cuts to the quick of who you are as a person.
Okay, all right.
Be a legend and say neither.
I kind of was going there because it's what kind of cake, what kind of pie. Again, if it is a strawberry cake for strawberry
Yeah.
pie, I go strawberry cake. If it
Sorry.
is an apple pie versus apple cake, I go apple pie. Okay, you can put candles in a cake. I'm going cake.
That's my favorite rationale I've ever heard. I've never heard it come down to which one can I put candles in. I fucking love that.
Amazing.
Bro, can you put sparklers in a pie? Technically yes, but it doesn't look right.
Doesn't look right. And if you put candles in, it'll crack it, and then they'll like tilt over, and then they'll be put out by
Yeah.
the goop of the pie. Going cake because I'm so upset.
Oh,
John, I
love it.
All right,
believe that
Dad, we
does
are-
us, my dude.
Yeah, we are bumping up against our closing time here. Where can people find you, man?
Oh, me? For the next 5 days, you can find me at www.lucidkickstarter.com. That is lucidkickstarter.com. If you want to back an awesome project with a lot of love and heart into it, and I need to feed my puppies and myself, so please go and back that. And then after that, you can find me at like the Matt Black on Twitter or the Matt Black Studio on Instagram. I don't know. I post art, lore, game design stuff. I stream. I'm always there. Or a Discord. Come to my Discord. Want to talk and hang out with cool people.
Or maybe you come to our Discord.
Ew, fusion.
All
Cross
right.
promotion.
Speaking of our
Awesome.
Discord, let me throw that link
Yeah,
out
let's get
there.
a link in there.
As we do every show. And
And
also,
while you're doing that,
especially important because listeners and such who normally do not interact with the Discord, you should be in there because next week on Friday, we're going to kick off our charity event by doing several hours of streamed rock band and karaoke direct to the Discord. You will not be able to come find it on Twitch. Listen to me get drunk and sing. We're going to get John to belt like fucking Centerfold by Jay Giles Band.
no, but I am
Can
gonna.
we get
I am-
DLC?
I'm gonna play the drums.
Can we get John to belt out fucking Rebel Yell?
I
think we
need
can.
emo songs. Can we do Creed's Arms Wide Open? That is what
I do think I
truly
have
matters.
that.
Thank you.
We should absolutely do that.
I have so many
Live-
songs.
Arms wide open.
With arms wide open.
I'm gonna make nothing but direct eye contact with Derek.
Can you see?
So I just want to point out that every
you've
time
got to get all the Scott Stipe like gestures when you're doing it. He's like punching the air and fucking like
every time a bar gives the option for those digital jukeboxes, when I'm leaving, I will pay extra to jump my songs to the top, and I will play a series of no less than 5 Nickelback and Creed songs, and then just bounce.
Demon.
Because you can pay extra to have your songs jump the queue. And
some men just want to watch the world burn.
Yes.
we got to get some Nickelback going too, right?
I have
yes.
Nickelback in there too, so.
But how much emo do you have? Because
I
need a lot.
I have every song that was ever in a rock band or a Guitar Hero. So.
But do you have some that haven't been?
Not much, no.
Damn it.
What about some Puddle of Mud?
There's some Puddle of Mud.
Oh, I need some Puddle of Mud.
Incubus.
She fucking hates me.
All right, Mr. Brightside is an all-time necessity. Like
Incubus would be a good one. Hey, Incubus was a good band. I don't give a fuck.
It sure was.
I like Incubus.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, join the Discord because that's only going to happen on our Discord.
Derek, who are we raising money for?
We are raising money for the Trans Empowerment Project, which is a wonderful mutual aid organization that has a bunch of different like sub projects ranging from like inmate outreach to abortion funds and reproductive health care for trans folks to I'm pretty sure they have like a college scholarship for like trans students. Like there's all kinds of places where your money goes to benefit some of the most vulnerable among us in our society currently.
That's right. Because right now, fuck all jokes aside,
it sure do be fucking.
Rights,
it sucks to be part of the alphabet mafia right now, man. It's not a great time.
Trans rights in particular right now are under attack, and I know I'm not going to stand for that shit. Yeah. So neither should you. I'll fight a fucking turf.
We know you will, John. We know you will. We love you for it.
I'll beat the shit out of a turf.
That's what I think we got. I really tried to cover that last part, and I failed to do that.
I have just learned that my son is going to be here for the charity stream.
You told us that before.
No. He might not. There was a chance he might not be there.
Okay. So. Well, he doesn't get to get drunk, but he does get to sing. Fucking Creed with the rest of you.
Yes.
My goal is to corrupt him.
No. The edibles stay in a locked box.
I'm his father. How could he not be corrupted already?
Yeah, you've already fucked that kid up enough without substances.
Let's get this motherfucker off the air.
Fine.
Obviously, there's no live podcast next week. So because we're gonna be doing a whole lot of streaming.
We might get on and just bullshit for a bit to test the stream setup.
Maybe we will. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. Who knows?
But it won't be like a show proper.
No. But I'll give you a proper show right now. Kindness costs nothing. See you next week.
Why are you like this?